all four of those folks, Gammon, Snyder, Rickards, and Hunt, all say that's not how it works.
And they say we're in deflation, not inflation. The Fed manages expectancy, not reality.
Say we owe $10 trillion to China. Well, we have a motivation to debase our dollar because it gets easier to pay back China. If we've got 10% inflation and we owe China $10 trillion, well, pretty soon we only owe them $9 trillion in inflation adjusted dollars. And, Ken, what this really makes me think about is a substantial influencer on the Rich Dad School, Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller said, don't fight the forces, use them.
We don't have it all figured out either. And by, Robert's done a great job of diversifying in real estate just by having real estate in different countries. As you start to do those kinds of things, then you can now go to get educated around Bitcoin, around gold, around oil and gas and all those kinds of things. Doesn't mean you have to go invest in them. Don't be a one-trick pony, right?
That's one thing I've always appreciated about you, Ken, is that you just study lots of different things and we all make our decisions. Okay, am I going to invest in it or not? Different investments come with different levels of risk. Love real estate, love leverage, but leverage is counterparty risk. Meaning there's another party, the bank, that has an effect on my investment. There's another party, the county or city, property taxes that are a counterparty. So I like the metals. If I have an ounce of gold, this ounce of gold has zero counterparty risk. It's my asset and it's nobody else's liability.
We study communism, we study Marxism, we study, capitalism, we study all those things. And there are pieces in all of those that are good. You have to be able to see it from the other person's perspective. And it's really, really difficult. But until you do that, as Robert says, there's three sides to a coin. There's your side, my side, and the edge.
We have the strongest economy in the world. We have the strongest military presence in the world. We have the strongest government in the world. Fine. The question is, what happens if we're ever challenged as the world's reserve currency? What happens if we're ever challenged as the world's superpower? Because our country and our economy is not growing as fast as some of other countries in the world, like China. China is innovating very quickly. They're pushing innovation. The United States isn't. Anytime you start debasing the value of your currency, it leads to economic unrest, even collapse.
That's such a good time to be alive. Really, as bad as it is, it's the most exciting time I've ever seen.
So much opportunity right now.
Well, there will be.
Yeah, I think there is right now.
There is. There's so much stuff coming down the pike. So there's more opportunity as technology changes. So there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Bet on the long haul here. Housing is not going to implode. People need it. Especially rental housing, especially where we're headed.
Invest in what people need. Residential real estate, which is where you and I play, Ken, has probably had even more utility with what's happened with the health crisis in the past few years, because now a home is not just where a person lives, but now it's more likely to be where they work. And now it's more likely to be where they work out. And more people want to grow their own food and have a greenhouse. And more people homeschool their kids and all that. So real estate, something that's enduring, has even more utility now than it did just a couple years ago. So the point is, you want to play a game worth winning, invest in something and get knowledge around something that's going to have a sustainable, durable human need as far as we can see. And that's what real estate is.
Right now, who's getting crushed is fixed income. People like my mom on Social Security. She makes $1,450 a month. Anybody on that, like some of those workers that we met. It's funny, I was reading something today, Robert. The guy said, if I give you a 4% raise, are you going to be happy or angry?
Take everything with a grain of salt. I got trust issues. We talked about my trust issues with the school system, my trust issues with the Federal Reserve Bank. You can't just trust everything your broker tells you either.
Like with the real estate agents, or brokers, people just trust them like they're real estate experts, right? Well, my real estate agent said the market's going to keep going up. And it's like, well, why would they what are they going to tell you? I'm thinking it might go down. Like they want, they work for commission,
I know. I mean, it's the same people, it's everyone, right? Where's their incentive? Before the 2008 crash, the government and the Fed said it's just it's transitory, a slowdown. Inflation is just transitory right now. And real estate agents before the 2008 crash said it was a lull. Right now, it's the market won't slow down. And if it does, it'll be temporary. which is fine. They're not necessarily experts. They're doing their job, which is to sell. A bank's job is to give you a loan. They're trying to sell you money. And so what we talk about is you need to be financially educated. It doesn't make these people evil. They don't necessarily know what's better for them. And so you need to have that education kind of as the barrier where when you get fed this information, you know how to filter out the crap.
When I watch CNBC, all those goofballs out there say, oh, the Fed issued forward guidance. They want to trick you. And that's what guys like Lacey Hunt, Jeff Snyder, and Jim Rickards are saying. It's bullshit. And then they say, well, don't fight the Fed. They're the smartest guys I've ever met. The Fed is the Wizard of Oz. There's nothing there.
I do this piece called Be, Do, Have, where a lot of people focus on the have. They see they see guys like you or me or Daniil, and they say, okay, they've got all these things, these rentals, this cash flow, and it must have been handed over to them, and they focus on the have. And what I always tell people, you got to focus on the be. Like, who do you want to be? And if you focus on that, then it's just a matter of what you got. What are you going to do? Then all of a sudden you start to have, but if you focus on the be, which is that mental, the spiritual piece, the physical piece, the financial piece, and those are all the things that you and I talked about earlier, they're not taught.
I used to have that, like, oh my God, rich people are evil mentality. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that when all your friends around you talk like that, you assume that that's normal. You have to be willing to question your own beliefs. Learn from people with differing beliefs. That way you can make an educated decision for yourself. And you're right. You need to know who your teachers are. But thankfully, YouTube makes that a lot easier because now you can listen to people who disagree, listen to different points of view, and then make an educated decision. And this is hard now because of social media. If you believe something, doesn't matter what it is, you can go into this deep rabbit hole where that's all you see. You see that this side is right. This is the only way to think. This is the only way you should believe. And if you see or think or hear something different, it's stupid, it's wrong, and you should not even consider it. But what you need to do, and what intelligent people do, is they learn from the other side. That way they understand both sides, and that way they can make an educated decision. You might not agree with me, that's fine, but at least you're educated enough to understand why.
Guys, wake up. Like, this is an important time for you. Gas is more, food is more, rent is more, housing's more, taxes are going to be more. If you can get on the other side of the ledger somehow, if you can be a landlord and you can put your money to work this way, then you can have inflation work with you.